Now, one issue that's caused a disagreement between the National Assembly and the executive arm of government is the passage of the 2016 budget. After several months of deliberations at the National Assembly and harmonization of the figures, the executive says there are grey areas that need to be adjusted before the document can be passed. But the economy has continued to operate regardless, and for most experts, this could be harmful to economic growth. Joining me now to take a look at the impact of this delay is an associate professor, banking and finance at the Nasarawa State University, Dr. Uche Waleke. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us on the news at 10. Now, the president is said to have written again to the National Assembly, pointing out some grey areas that need to be adjusted. Are you concerned at all about the back and forth?
Yeah, thank you once again. Every Nigerian should be concerned about the back and forth. Recall the genesis of the impasse. First, it was not the appropriation bill didn't get in time, and budgetary what I call budgetary slack, was introduced by those charged with the responsibility of preparing the the appropriation bill. That's what a lot of people have called padding, and what Nigerians expected that at the level of the National Assembly that would be cleaned up, but again, unfortunately, it was another opportunity to also introduce budgetary slack, and of course the president has refused to give assent until all that is sorted out. Again, it's worrisome because it's already eating deep into the preparations for the 2017 budget. Don't forget section, I think 318 of the Constitution. It says the budget, once it is assented, the bill once it's assented to, has to run for a period of 12 months. So we're already in April, getting to May, and it is not yet assented to. So it's already eating into the 2017 budget. So every Nigerian should be bothered about the back and forth.
So do you think economists are right then when they say that this delay in assenting the budget is affecting the economy, because that's their basic argument?
Yes, of course it's affecting the economy. Recall that the economy last quarter of last year grew at an average of 2.8%. That's its lowest since 1999. So every segment of the economy is affected by this delay. The manufacturing sector is not left out. We understand capacity utilization has dropped from about 54% to 50%. The capital market is also not spared. A lot of investors are sitting on the sidelines. A lot of uncertainty is in the air. So it's really hurting the economy. That's why I say it as, if you permit the cliche, a case of two elephants fighting and the grass suffering. The grass here is the economy. Look at inflation rate, soaring as high as 12.8%. You have unemployment rate at 10.4%. These are unprecedented figures. You now have a situation where we have a stagflation, more or less. High inflation existing, side by side with unemployment. And also recall that I think not too long ago, the Minister of Finance talked about injecting about 350 billion naira, into the economy to reflect the economy as soon as the budget was passed. But that, of course, is not going to happen until the budget is assented to. The 350 billion, according to her, is meant to pay contractors who had disengaged them. Some Nigerians, to enable them re-engage them. So the economy is really being affected as a result of this impasse, and we can't wait to see the end of it.
Well, you see the president making a number of trips. He's been to China. He's been to quite a number of countries trying to woo investors and to tell them that everything is okay with us. Do you see this particular delay as not helping that particular situation?
Yes, it is not helping the particular situation, and the sooner we resolved the matter the better. As I said earlier on, you cannot plan in an environment of uncertainty. Some investors want to come in with their money, but they can't come until they see, the policy direction of the government. And this policy direction is something the budget, implementation of the budget will bring about. So it's something that is not only, hurting the economy, is something that has affected so many things. So we think that the earlier the impasse is resolved, the better for the Nigerian economy. All right, Associate Professor at the Nasarawa State University, Dr. Uche Uwaleke. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on the news at 10 tonight. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, has blamed a break in communication for the reopening of the Kogi State House of Assembly, despite a resolution of the National Assembly to seal its premises. He put forward this position after appearing before the ad hoc committee set up by the House of Representatives to investigate comments made by the Attorney General of the Federation. The Attorney General, however, was not present to appear before that committee. And the House of Representatives has summoned the Comptroller General of Prisons, Mr. Pt.2, to appear before a joint committee over an alleged assault of a female member, Joan Nkwago. Moving a motion on privilege on the matter, the minority leader of the House, Honorable Leo Ogo, said the alleged assault is not only embarrassing to the National Assembly, but also a breach of the House rules. The House unanimously approved the motion, and the CG is to appear and explain why the security operatives and aides attached to his convoy allegedly battered and assaulted a female federal lawmaker under his watch. Also expected to appear on the same matter is the Minister of Interior and unit heads of all security agencies in the National Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, I find myself bringing a very, very embarrassing situation, a case that happened yesterday, very embarrassing situation that happened yesterday. Clearly yesterday, a member of this Green Chamber was leaving this chamber, going out within the presence of the National Assembly, while the convoy of the Comptroller General of Prison was on the other side. As she tries to drive off because she was going for a service, the Comptroller General was sitting in his car, and as soon as he passed, they blocked her, came out of the car and started battering the car. She opened the door of the car. As soon as she wound down the door or the glass, one of the security officers of the Comptroller General of Prison immediately slapped her on the face. A lady, Mr. Speaker.
Now, the Department of Petroleum Resources is stepping up its game as it announces different levels of sanctions to erring service stations who are either caught hoarding or diverting petroleum products. The Comptroller of the DPR in the Kaduna State Zone, Mr. Sayad Sulaiman, says that the agency will no longer tolerate a situation where independent marketers instigate what he calls unnecessary scarcity.
What we are doing now to make sure that every drop of petroleum product that is lifted and brought to the station is accounted for. All the station given allocation, we must make sure that they deliver to the station and they deliver correctly. And we also make sure that they don't divert, because that is what is causing the problem. Each station, we have our people. They are watching the sales, monitoring the sale, making sure that they sell at correct price of 86.50, and the queue is also orderly. We sanctioned so many of them. About 70 petrol stations were sanctioned for various offenses, ranging from selling above pump price, hoarding of petroleum products, and order delivery of products. And what we do, we charge them penalty before we open such station. So we are going to get court injunction to get the permission from the court so that we can break into the station and do our job. and we are going to dispense the product freely to the public.
And to politics, where in the House of Assembly in Rivers State, that House has stepped down the swearing-in of the member-elect representing Falga Constituency 1, Victoria Nyeche of the APC. The Speaker of the House, who presided over the sitting, cited an interim injunction from the State High Court restraining the House from swearing in Honorable Nyeche. Meanwhile, 10 members were sworn in by the Speaker, while the member representing Obobo constituency, Andrew Miller of the APC, was absent.